Hello again and welcome to this, the fifth of your video tutorials for Final Cut Pro. In this tutorial we're going to look at sharing the projects that you've made. We're also going to look at the need to consolidate media and also go through some basics of archiving files. A, so you know where you can find them, and B, so they don't end up clogging your machine and basically nothing works. Right, so first off, sharing a film. If you look here, we have down at the bottom the timeline movie. This is the project completed. We've got some text in here, as you can see. Let's just zoom in a little bit. We've got our text. Yeah, everything's ready to go. Before we share, we need to just double check in our preferences that what we share is the quality or the best quality version that we've got. So if you look, before we changed playback to use proxy media because the files are lighter and it's easier to work with. Before we share, just watch this display here. Before we share, we need to change that back to original or optimized media. Can you now see the difference in quality? Just show you that again. This is proxy media and this is the original optimized media. Now, once we've done that, we need to double check in our background tasks, because something may happen within the footage. It's actually not happening at the moment, but one thing to check on is rendering. Normally, when you change from proxy media to high quality media, the work may need to render itself. This will be seen if I just show you here. If I delete this, you see a little orange light there, and I'll put it back. Yeah, that little orange glow, I'll just do it again just to show you. That little orange glow is rendering. Okay, that's the film. Here we go. You see, it's just showing you now that it's rendering the work, and I'll just put it back in. Okay, it's important to double check that the film has fully rendered before you share. Now, rendering is the process of bringing all of the files, all of the text, everything that you've worked on, making sure that it's all brought together. When you're happy that that's done, you can share. Now, one way to share is to create a master file. Now, for you guys, the best thing to do is creating master files that are H.264 as a video codec. Then they're good resolution, but they're also very, very web friendly. One of the other things I know you guys are going to be doing is putting to your YouTube account. So let's do that. We're going to set it up to go to YouTube. Description, FCP Module 3 timeline. Let's just double check the settings. The resolution I'm going to put it on is large 440 progressive. We're going to go with better quality. And it's literally that simple. Terms of service, publish. And that's it. Okay, so before we go to YouTube and look at your final movie, just a couple of final things to review. Firstly, consolidating media. As you can see, we've got some projects here. Now on the timeline, here on the center of the screen, it's telling us that there's a missing event. Now, it's always useful, before you finalize a project and tick everything off, to just come here to consolidate project media. Now, if we click this, it's telling us there's nothing to consolidate. The selected project and the events it refers to are already in the same location. So everything's okay. What it might be is that we are reviewing in original media. If we go back to proxy media, that might make a difference. Just waiting for that to decide what it wants to do. I'm going to open up the project. Now, if you can just see here above the top, the machine is rendering some of the files. Now, the process of rendering is bringing all of the content that you've added into the clip. So any font, text, etc. Now, it's still telling us that there's a problem, but basically, I know that there isn't. So, okay, right. All the files are here. Yeah, okay, so when it comes to archive, which is the next thing we're going to do, I should have everything that I need to pack everything away and everything be ready for if I need to revisit the project. And so we come to archiving. You'll soon discover that when you're working with Final Cut Pro, the amount of files that are created can be phenomenal, and they'll bog your system down like you wouldn't believe. So the first thing to do, the most important thing to do, is to learn how to archive. So I'm going to come over here to your user ID, and if you go to movies, you'll see that Final Cut has created Final Cut events and Final Cut project folders. Very simple. You just identify the projects that you want to archive, which in this case are the 4 previous tutorials. Drag them over to the hard drive, and all I've done is I've set up identical Final Cut events folders in my external hard drive, and you just drag and drop them in. And if we just retrace our steps, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight these files so I know when they've finished changing, when they've finished moving over, I know which ones to delete. And that's the simplest way to archive. Okay, so meanwhile, back at YouTube, I'm just going to go in. Now I have my YouTube portal set up to take me directly into the video manager page. And here I can see these are all my recent uploads, and here is our Final Cut Pro Module 3 timeline. As you can see here on this icon, it's showing that it's private. I always put the setting for new movies to just make sure everything's right and it doesn't kind of jump ahead of me. Here's a link if you need to show it to anybody for approval. Here is some of the data. It's a large 540 progressive movie. And here are the privacy settings. So once you're ready, you can either set it as unlisted, and then you can send the link to anybody you want, or you can make it share it across Facebook, Google Chrome, etc. Here we put the title of the movie, here we put the description. In advanced settings, we can change some of the things about comments. We can also allow embedding if we want people to be able to take the video, or if you want to take the video and put it elsewhere. And that's it. Video statistics on the page. I would say that they're quite useful for you guys because it will show you, and it will show anybody with a vested interest in the charity just how wide a reach the videos are getting. And literally all you do then is you save the changes here. I'm not going to do that because I want to keep this film private, but yeah, you just save the changes, and that pretty much is sharing, consolidating media and archiving.